It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey folks, today we are taking a look at this tiny little card game called Game of Trains. Game of Trains plays in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, plays 2 to 4, and it's a really simple game that plays a lot like an old classic you might be familiar with, Racco. Now, Racco was a game that I always thought was okay, but it's, unless you're playing with an Uno sort of crowd, then it's pretty forgettable. Does this make that game any better? Is this considerably more interesting than Racco? Let me show you how it works, and then I'll tell you what I think of it. Here's everything that comes with the game, and that is quite simply 4 locomotives, 1 for each player, and a deck of cards, all of which have a unique number 1 through 84, so 84 cards there. Each player is going to take one of these locomotives, and they are going to draw 7 cards from this deck, which I should give a little shuffle to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you are going to arrange these cards in a line here so that they go from the highest number to the lowest number. And so let me just do this real quick. Okay, there we go. And then lastly, the 16 over here. So this is set up, and there's a little bit more setting up at the beginning, but that's basically it. There will be some cards that end up here face up on the table as well, and the deck itself. The objective of the game is for a player to get all of these cards, which as you can see here, start in descending order. The first player that is able to make all the cards ascend in order, so the lowest number here, the highest number here, everything else ascending, that player is the winner of the game. And to achieve that on your turn, you get one of 2 actions. Very simple. The first action is you can draw a card from here, look at it, and then replace it with one of these cards if you want to. Otherwise, you can just get rid of this card itself. And so I would, for example, get rid of this one, let's say, if I think I'm not going to get anything lower than a 10. And then this card ends up here in the common pool. The second option is I can take one of these cards in this common pool and trigger the power that is on that card, and then discard the card and do whatever it says, okay? There is one more rule that says if ever there are 2 cards here in the pool that have the same exact power, which both of these do, then they would just cancel each other out and they get discarded. But for now, I'll leave that there so I can explain its power. So that's basically it. Take a card, replace it with one of yours, or don't. You can just throw that card here. And the other option is use one of the powers out here. So what are the powers? They're very simple, and there's only about 5 of them. And they are this card here. If you do this, every player has to discard the first card in their train and then replace it blindly from the top of the deck. This does the same thing for the middle card. This does the same thing, this power here, for the last card of the train. And again, those 3 powers affect every player in the game. Besides that, you have this little lock here, lets you lock a card. So let's say, as an example, that this is like so, and this card is here in the center. If I want to, on my turn, I can just take this power and then lock a card by sliding that under it. And that means every time somebody tries to hit me with that power that discards the first card, it won't affect me. So there's that power. This power here, and this one, which is its mirror, allow you to take any one card in your train and move it over twice, either that way or that way on this one. This power here allows you to switch 2 cards that are neighboring cards. And then there is this one, which is the same thing, but there's a card between them, so I could switch, say, these 2 cards, like so. And that's pretty much it. You continue doing that until a person, as I said, any one player has all the cards in ascending order, and that player is the winner of Game of Trains. So ultimately, coming back to the Racco comparison there, if you hate Racco, you are not going to like this game. It is pretty much the same thing with a couple of little powers, which I think are interesting. And I do think the look of this game makes it already heads and shoulders above a game like Racco. But if you hate that, you will definitely not like that. Obviously, you already know that from seeing the overview, if this is simply too light for you. However, I think it's pretty neat, and I think it would work well with a non-gamer parents, non-gamer family, maybe some friends you can have over and play a little silly card game after dinner or something. It's got a little mean to it, but not very much. That whole action of, everybody discard your first card happens to everyone, so it's not targeted. So I don't think the take that aspect should really, bother anybody. But the game looks beautiful. I love the artwork on all the cards. It's really neat. It's very clever. It's a nice talking piece. And the game is quick and extremely simple. So if you're looking for a pretty silly, very light filler card game, then I think this is actually a good one. It's pretty cute. If you are past this and don't need another filler in your life, don't need a simple, silly card game like this in your life, then obviously, well, you can skip it. But I would recommend it if it piqued your interest whatsoever when I was giving you the overview, then I'd say, yeah, try to look into it, because I think it works well. And I think it's the powers are nice and clean and simple enough that everybody can get up to speed very quickly, and I actually enjoyed it. I've been in, it's something that I'll be hanging on to simply because I can play with non-gamer, friends and family. So that is Game of Trains, simple little card game. Check it out if you want a little silly, light card game filler.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.